guys, it's me, Babs, your favorite sonographer. Maybe if you want to know the 4 things that I did to have a natural, unmedicated vaginal delivery, stay tuned. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I wanted to make a quick video about the 4 things that I did that pretty much ensured my having a natural, unmedicated vaginal delivery, and I hope that it can help you guys. I know it helped me. I'm not a professional, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a midwife, I'm not a doula, I'm not any of those things. What worked for me may not work for you. Emergencies happen, situations happen, but if all goes well, this could help you at least in some way, shape, or form. It may not prevent a vaginal delivery or an unmedicated delivery, but it'll still help you. It definitely helped me. So here we go. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible because I know some of you guys have attention deficit disorder, but I am going to compare my 2 deliveries. So my daughter is 4 years old. She was born in 2015 in a hospital. The original plans were I was going to have an unmedicated, natural birth, no epidural please, and you know how some people are like, oh yeah, sure. Wait until the contractions start, and I just pushed it off. I'm like, I can handle it. No, I could not. So here's what happened. At 40 weeks, it was discovered that I had cholestasis, and I had to be induced at exactly 40 weeks. If they had found out about this prior, I may have been induced at 36 or 37 weeks. So because I was induced with pitocin, the contractions were a lot stronger and harder to handle, which later I was told is because of the pitocin. I didn't know that my contractions were so hard to handle because of the pitocin, basically. I went from not feeling anything at all to unbearable, basically diarrhea cramps. That's exactly how they felt. It was like a wave from head to toe, all over my body, diarrhea cramps. And that was right after they broke my water. Before then, it was smooth sailing. I didn't feel anything. My cervix was opening at a reasonable rate. But after they broke my water, forget it. That first wave of contractions, I could barely stand, I could barely move. I'm like, epidural, please. Because I had the epidural, I couldn't feel anything. So it took a very, very long time of pushing before she finally came out. I swear I was pushing for like 4 to 5 hours. And my OB, she's a godsend. She really motivated me to push her out. And she finally did. But it took a very long time. And I'm going to say, for me anyway, it was because of the epidural. But one good thing about pushing for so long is I didn't tear. One of the reasons why I believe, like, maybe it's not true. One of the reasons why some women tear when they're pushing is because the baby came out so fast. Like 2-3 pushes, boom. You didn't give your body enough, your skin enough time to really stretch and accommodate the baby's head. It was just like really, of course you're gonna tear, but I'm not in the I'm not in the delivery room. I'm not a delivery nurse. I'm not a doctor. I've just been reading a lot about things that you could do for that area. So anyway, that's just one of the things that I learned. Maybe it's not true for you, but it was true for me. Pushing slowly and just waiting for giving your body time to accommodate and to stretch really helped with the tearing. I didn't tear at all. So moving on to the second pregnancy. Once we decided that we were gonna have a second baby, I made a whole turnaround. Like, I saw this as a do-over because even though I was, I accepted my birth story, I wasn't exactly happy with it because it wasn't what I wanted. And I felt like maybe some of my decisions were taken away from me because I wasn't as informed. So I did things completely different the second time around. The first thing I did was, once I knew that we were going to have a second baby, I worked out, like hardcore working out. Now, I always did work out, but it was always in a cycle. You know how you get motivated, you're like, let's work out, and you do it for like a couple of months, and then you slow down, and then you start up again, and then you slow down. That's kind of how I was. But this time I decided I'm going to work out, and I'm going to keep working out. I'm just going to adjust this because now I'm kind of far. For my first pregnancy, I gained 50 pounds. Yes, 50. I went up to 180 pounds. The second pregnancy, I gained 30 to 35 pounds. So that's a big difference. I controlled my diet and I exercised a lot. And I teach Zumba, so I was teaching while pregnant also. And this may not be true in general, but I feel like it was true for me. I feel that controlling my weight and especially my diet contributed to not getting cholestasis again. And that's very important because once you have cholestasis, or once you get it the first time, you are at a higher risk of getting it again. So the fact that I didn't get it, whew, it was a godsend. If my voice sounds really low, I'm sorry. I'm outside. There's like a vent right in front of me that's kind of loud. There are traffic, well, there are cars outside. Anyway, I'll try to speak as loudly as possible. But anyway, so I got a midwife. Their approach is more holistic compared to an OB. And as long as there are no major complications, your caregiver is just half the battle to getting a natural birth. The third thing I did was hire a midwife. No, I said that already. The third thing I did was get a doula. Your support system is crucial to a natural labor and delivery, like crucial. The first time I fortunately had my husband and my mom, and even though they meant well, as soon as they saw me in pain with my first and second wave of contractions, they were just like, they didn't know what to do. They were panicking. They didn't want to see me in pain. They wanted to help, but they knew that they couldn't. So they weren't very good at keeping me on course because they didn't want to see me in pain. They wanted the pain to go away. So as soon as I asked for an epidural, they're like, yes, okay, let's get this for you. God bless their hearts. You know, God bless the people that you choose to have with you during one of your most important moments of your lives. But if they're not strong enough to keep you on your course of a natural delivery, if that's what you want, you may want to get a doula. A doula is trained to help laboring women during this time. They already know what you're going through. They know what to expect. They know that you're going to yell or go through different like emotional cycles. They might, I don't know, like, you know how it is, or maybe you don't know, but it's tough in there. It's really tough, and it takes a strong person to guide a laboring woman. It really does. I could never be a doula. I find it hard being a sonographer sometimes anyway. So I could never be a doula, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It takes a special type of person. Thanks, Karina. Shout out. Love ya. So if you can afford a doula, go ahead, go for it. Even if you're not planning on having a natural delivery and you're gonna have a C-section, they could help you during that time too. The doula that I hired, she was there for a woman who had a C-section. They are there not just for the delivery, they're there during the pregnancy, before, after. They help you out after the baby is born. They help out your partner, your birth partner. They're not just for you, they're for everybody. So I highly, highly recommend a doula, whether you're planning a natural delivery or not. Also, it's not to say that if you choose a medicated labor, that you're weak. That's not what I'm saying. I had my reasons for wanting a natural birth, one of them being if my ancestors could do it, then I could do it. And I just felt empowered once I actually did it. I felt like I could rule the world. But anyone who delivers, especially twins or triplets, like, anyone who delivers is powerful. Just because you ask for an epidural doesn't mean that you're a weak person or that you gave up or that you failed. I don't want to come across as saying that if you do it all natural, that you're superwoman. No, everyone who delivers is a superwoman. Case in point, nothing. Just everyone who delivers is a superwoman. I don't think men can do it. That's why women do it. Hence, you're a superwoman. The fourth and one of the most important things I did to ensure that I had a natural, unmedicated delivery was where I gave birth, essentially. The first time was at a hospital. Once you step foot into a hospital, you are automatically at a higher rate of an unnatural birth. Some hospitals are respectful of midwives and doulas and even offer those services. That's great. But some hospitals have a higher rate of C-section. And that could be for different reasons, like if maybe a high-risk hospital where a lot of high-risk patients go. So once you're high risk, you automatically have a higher chance of getting induced or having a C-section because they just want to eliminate any other potential risk because you're already at a high risk. And that's understandable. So where you choose to deliver is extremely, extremely important. So know what you want and do your research. Me, I went to 3 potential hospitals at 33 weeks before I finally decided on a birth center, which is what I originally wanted. A birth center offers a home-like environment. It's a room, kind of like a hotel, and they don't have all of the monitoring equipment that could be loud or distracting or scary. Depending on the birth center, you could have your midwife and 1 or 2 nurses. And you could have as many guests as you want or as little as you want, depending on the birth center. Where I delivered, I could have my whole family there. And there was a family room too, which is so lovely. And with toys too for your kids or other kids. And your first or second or whatever, how many children you have, they could be there with you also. It's wonderful. Oh, and they have a birthing tub. I didn't use it. I went in, but I didn't end up birthing there. If you want to know my birthing story, let me know and I'll make a video. If not, who cares? A birth center offers no medication. So no epidural, no pitocin. What this particular birth center had was, I forgot the actual name of it, but essentially it's laughing gas. I loved it. Loved the laughing gas. Ooh, it didn't take the pain away, and I don't want to call it pain. Let's just say that. I don't want to call it pain. It didn't take the sensations away, but it definitely made you relax and not give a shit. At a birthing center, you're allowed to walk and eat and drink. There are no restrictions. And if you change your mind and you want an epidural, you're going to the hospital. But you're driving yourself there, or your partner is driving you there, because that's not an emergency. You just simply changed your mind. And midwives, they're medical professionals. They foresee an emergency. They foresee a complicated situation long before it occurs. So if they see that something is going to go wrong, they're going to send you to the hospital and you don't have to drive yourself there long before it occurs. So don't worry. Birthing centers should be affiliated with a hospital. Now, I'm not a professional. I don't know this for sure. But anyway, I think they should, and they all are. Anyway, I don't have that much recording time, so I'm just going to finish by reciting the 4 things that I did. I controlled my diet and I exercised. I got a midwife, I got a doula, and I chose to deliver at a birthing center. Now, I worked hard to deliver at that birthing center because I had to be cleared. If you're not cleared, forget it. Okay? So just work hard on yourself. If something comes up, don't beat yourself up over it, you know, because then it's just out of your hands and it wasn't meant to be, and it's just safer to deliver at a hospital. That's all I'm going to say for now. I know that some of my videos are offensive. I hope I didn't offend anybody in any way. But that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found my tips helpful. It won't ensure that you have an unnatural vaginal delivery. Did I say unnatural? I don't know what I said. It won't ensure that you'll have a natural, uncomplicated, unmedicated vaginal delivery, but it will help you. At least the diet part and the exercise, that will help you no matter what. Anyway, ciao!